Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. It's your boy, Kevin Thornton. You have tuned into the Wellness Architect Show. Today is Monday, April 13th, 2020. Hope everybody's doing very well, being safe, being uplifted during this whole pandemic. It's going to be a great show tonight. With that being said, I want to first start by saying thank you to everyone who's been supporting my book during this time. You have helped me keep on maintaining my lifestyle by supporting the book, supporting my journey. So I truly appreciate it. Those who still would like to purchase the book, 20 Beautiful Men, can do so. Can hit me up on Facebook or Instagram, and I will send you the information from there. I want to welcome my lovely co-host, Lois Boucher. How are you doing, ma'am?
Hey, I'm doing wonderful. Good to see you as
Good to
always,
see
Kev. Good to
you.
see you.
Tell everybody what your word of the day is, ma'am, please, and then introduce our lovely co-host. We are great co-host.
My word of the day is health.
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna get right into this thing today. And many of you understand when I say health, in your mind, many people often think of how am I feeling in my body?
Mm-hmm.
Do I have high blood pressure? Do I have diabetes? Do I have any ailments? Or do I feel great? And oftentimes we feel great physically. And a lot of times, as Kevin and I always talk about, we talk about our physical health frequently. We talk about different foods that we could eat to enhance our physical well being. We also talk about different supplements that we can utilize to enhance our physical well being. Well, guess what? We often talk about how to enhance our spiritual health, how to enhance our financial health. And I got to ask you this question. How are you when it comes to your financial health? That is a question that many people are not sure of. And so the word of the day is health and finance. Are you healthy in your finances? Are you healthy in how you handle your money? Well, if you are, that's great. We applaud you. And if you're not, guess what? We still applaud you for showing up to the broadcast today because we have a phenomenal guest that's going to help you upshore your health and your finance. And that's our word of the day, health and finance. Thank you.
Thank you. And who's our guest for tonight, Miss Lois Roche?
Wow. Our esteemed guest is a phenomenal, and I love to say young man, emphasis on young, because he's young in spirit, but and we're gonna use this word, he's seasoned in financial health. Okay. He is a retired man of the military. And I say man of the military because I started kind of coming back from separating all the branches because we go at it with each other. But I will say he has served valiantly in the armed services, but he is also on the, how should I say, the chess game of life. And he helps us to not play a bad game of chess in our finances, but he helps us to make sure that we play the best game of chess in life that we can. Because guess what? Our finances and life, it all depends on the players. We can't just have the pawns. We want to be kings and queens in our finance health. So tonight we have a financial guru. He is none other than the doctor of money and finance, and they call him affectionately the money doctor, Mr. Dexter Sadler. Hey, Dex, good to see
Hey
you.
there, how
Welcome
you
to the
doing?
show.
Can you hear
I'm
me?
doing wonderful.
How you doing, sir?
I am super fantastic, blessed, and highly favored, and really proud and happy and honored to be a part of your show.
And we're honored to have you. Can you please? She did a great job of introducing you, but can you please give us some detail of who you are and what you do and how you become who you are at this moment?
Thank you. My
Uh,
name is Dexter Sadler. I'm a native of the great state of Texas. affectionately known as the money doctor because I have spent over 30 years experience in the financial services industry. Started out doing financial sales and education. Now I'm strictly into the education. I'm no longer selling, I'm just strictly telling. Because during my career as a financial advisor, both as a regional vice president with American Express, as a financial advisor with American Express Financial Advisors, and a regional vice president with Primerica Financial Services, I found out that the vast majority of the people out there are financially illiterate. They are cash rich, but wealth broke. I decided to step away from the selling and start teaching. And I started a company called Dollars with Sense. And the slogan, Dollars Without Sense, CENTS, won't make sense. Let me reverse that. Dollars Without Sense, SENSE, won't make sense. CENTS. It's about education. For the past 15 years, I've been one of the co-founding leaders of a company out of Atlanta. The name of the company is My Econ, which is short for My Economy. It's strictly about personal financial success education because people always talk about the economy, the American economy, the global economy, but what about your economy? That's the economy that I teach about. That's
Yes.
what I like to talk about.
All right. So I'm glad to have you here, sir. We got a lot of questions for you. I'm gonna let my lady, Miss Lois Shake, start off first.
So the first and foremost questions that we have, and Dr. Dex, I'm going to say Dr. Dex, this is one question that we've had from so many people. How are people making it in the mid of COVID? People have been quarantined to their homes, if you will, and so many companies are shutting their doors. Many people, if they don't work, they don't make money. So, what are your thoughts on that? Can you share that with us?
I love that question because that's one of the passions I have right now. And that's why God has blessed me to be in a position to help people in that position right there. See, most people are in a situation that I like to teach about the cash flow quadrants. It's folks
Yes.
about where is your money coming from? Now, if you did a vertical line and across the middle, a horizontal line, you have a quadrant left and right. Most people's income or money that they live on is coming from income that's on the left. And I do have a definition of income. It's real simple. If you don't go in, it won't come. Period. That's where most people are today
Hmm.
due to no fault of their own because of the pandemic, which means everybody has to social distancing.
Right.
Unless you're the fortunate one that has the opportunity to work from home,
Hmm.
most people, I mean millions and millions, don't have that option. So if
Right.
they can't go in, no money comes because they get paid on a linear pay system. The last time you work is the last time you made money. That
Hmm.
goes to anybody that's an employee as well as someone who is a conventional business owner. They can't go in either. That means no money
Right.
can come. So what
Hmm.
I'm doing is helping people to understand strategies, how to help
Right.
you make some money using your own money if you have some. Unfortunately, too many people don't have financial resources.
Right.
And those who have even been retired and living off of their nest egg, they are now forced to cut back. And their
Yes.
lifestyle, when this is over, they're going to probably have to go find some part time work just to supplement their lifestyle that they've been accustomed to. This
Right.
pandemic, I call it a game changer. Folks, we saw the world change during 9/11. We are witnessing the second changing of the world. One of the changes you're going to see, I think handshaking is going to be a thing of the past. A lot of people are going to be doing the Wakanda, the Black Panther move
Yes.
versus handshakes. But so how am I helping through education? I have a program called the Income Shifting Membership that helps people to put money in their pocket, start making money right now today. And I have a lot of people have been blessed to start generating equal or greater than cash flow working from home, turning their smartphone, laptop, desktop, tablet into a cash register. Cha-ching, because it's about the strategies and education about money. This
Right.
is that's why they call me the money doctor. When your money is sick, you need to come see the money doctor. When your body is sick, you need to go see your medical doctor.
So how do you help the people to create income?
Well, the company I'm with out of Atlanta, My Econ,
Hmm.
in our income shifting membership, this program has 5 strategies that create cash flow using your own money. See, I always say this: if your money is not making money for you, it is making money for somebody else, everybody but you. So, one of those 5 strategies is the Internal Revenue Service says that 80% of the people that fill out that form W-4 on their job filled it out incorrectly, and they're giving away literally thousands of dollars of their money annually. Now, how do you know if you filled it out wrong? Easy. Did you get a refund check? That is not no free government money. By the way, the stimulus check isn't either, but that's a separate sermon. But when you get a refund, that is your money, some of your money that you overpaid. So I say, stop overpaying. That's what the IRS says. Stop overpaying, correct the W-4, and get your money up front. So I help people to get an extra 500 and more dollars of their money up front in their pocket. The second thing is tax savings. I help people save thousands of dollars on annual taxes just by financial education. Show you what the IRS says you can do. Then I teach you how to do what they say you can do. I go straight to IRS.gov using their publications off of their website, their documents, and if it's in black and white coming off their website, it's got to be right. So therefore, learning what they say you can do and teach you how to do it, and then keep proper records. I also help people to do income shifting. Use your money to eliminate your debt. Every debt you pay off creates more cash flow in your pocket, but it also lowers your debt to income ratio, which simultaneously raises your credit score. And when you raise your credit score, you are able to
Right.
refinance any debt you still have at a lower interest rate, which lowers your monthly payment, which puts more money back in your pocket. But this membership is something that people can share with others because everybody needs cash flow now. And I pay a
Right.
person, I help them get a $25 upfront money every time they just share the information with somebody else. That's people are getting at least 10 a day, some 10 a week. Now, somebody may say that $250 is not much money. Well, when people are going from paycheck to paycheck to
Yeah.
suddenly paycheck to no check at all, $250 means a lot. It puts food on the table. It keeps the lights on. It keeps stress off your back.
Absolutely.
Wow. That's true. So I'd like to let our viewers know, viewers, if you like what he's saying, go ahead and put down a one in the comments below. And not only if you like it, if you can identify with what he's saying, because Doc, you said that many people are living, or maybe not in this way, but people are living from paycheck to paycheck. And some people are not even living from paycheck to paycheck anymore because, again, like you said, if you don't go in, then there won't be no income, right?
Correct.
So if you can identify with what he's saying, put a one in the comment below. So Doc, I'm gonna shortly, we're gonna take some more questions, but I really would like to know what got you started in doing this. Because a lot of times we are catapulted into our greatness, into doing whatever our passions are, just like Kevin and just like myself. So, what got you into helping people?
I'm loving that because is my passion began from my own story. So I grew up in a shotgun house off of a dirt road in a little small town in Texas. We were not poor, we were poor, P-O. We
Oh,
couldn't afford the O-R. But that was humble beginnings. I'm the youngest child of 4. God
yes.
blessed me to be the one to go off to college and get the degree and have a career. But guess what? I made a lot of money, but I was like most people. I made money but didn't have no money because I spent every dime I had.
Mm.
Well, then I went through a divorce that left me broke, busted, and disgusted. I call that BBD. And I found myself homeless. It tumbled my credit score to 425. Ladies and gentlemen, I say to you, that's where I was. Because during that time in my life, God also put a black millionaire
Hmm.
in my pathway who took me under his wings. Now, a lot of times people will, I got mine and you go figure out how to get yours. This
Yes.
person took me under his wings and began to educate me about the strategies and knowledge of the wealthy. I took my life in a whole different direction from the education. I went from a 425 credit score to 750. And I took myself from broke, busted, disgusted, and homeless to living very well. And the strategies that I teach people have created a six-figure residual income for me and my household. Now, my passion is because I've been there and I know how to get out of
Yes.
there. My passion is about teaching because, like I said, my background came out of the selling in the financial services industry, selling mutual funds and investments and life insurance. But I realized that, man, when it comes to money, people are totally financially illiterate. Academically, very educated, but financially
Right.
illiterate. And that's my passion to help get rid of illiteracy in personal finance. And I'm loving seeing the difference, how the people that I have been sharing this with and been enrolling in my income shifting membership and applying the strategies,
Hmm.
those who have been doing this with me for about 6, 7 months, when this pandemic hit and the economy tanked, people who have been applying what I teach, they are reaping a financial harvest in the midst of, of an economic famine. And they are able to take advantage of the market dropping. What I teach about investments, they got money to invest with, and they know what they're doing. And they're going to rise and be the better because of it. If you remember during the 9/11, if you also remember during the housing crisis that President Obama got us out of, we can even go all the way back to the Great Depression, 1929. The market dropped, but it always comes back up, and
Right.
somebody is going to get wealthy during that period. Wealth is being transferred during this time, and I just teach you how to transfer wealth.
Wow.
Okay,
Wow.
And
I
I'm
have a
very
question.
passionate about this because, like I said, had I been born with a silver spoon, or had I always had it going on, I probably would not have the passion that I have. But when God has blessed me, I cannot sit back on my blessing and think it's all about me. See, I've been, this is my philosophy that I live by. I believe that you are blessed with a blessing, and yes, it is your blessing, but it's not just for you. I believe that how God has blessed me and allowed me to go from the bottom to the top, He wants me to go out, and this is my ministry. Go administer to the people's needs financially.
I love it. So
Right.
I have a question for you. You said you went from 425 to 750. There's a
Yes.
lot of people who are looking to fix their credit. What would you say? Can you tell them what steps or strategies you use to go from 425 to 750?
Absolutely. First of all, I went and I had to go and do some research and reading and learn about how to write and dispute things on my credit report. I had to pull my credit report, learn how to read the credit report. All these things I had to do it myself. Now, with our income shifting membership program, it has the do-it-yourself credit repair and education. It got 26 educational videos, and these are not long. These are not movies. Each video is about 7 to 8 minutes because it's teaching you about step by step what to do, how to do it. When you get your report, how to read it, how to look at your credit score. And also, we don't just focus on your credit report. See, people spend $800 to $1,000 paying some credit repair agency to do credit repair. All they're going to do is pull your credit report, something you can do yourself, And then they're going to look at some things that they can dispute on your credit report. They'll write some letters. We already have the letters written. All you got to do is fill in the blanks. And they send them in, and all of a sudden, they get a few things removed. Well, you can do that yourself. But that's 35% of your credit score. But they don't deal with the other 65%. What my program does and what I learn how to do is learn about credit mix, about credit utilization, how to be able to increase and get other credit, some secure credit. See, these are strategies, and these strategies, step by step, elevated me from 425 to 500 to 575, 600, and now on up to 750. And here's what I do now. Everything is automated. So for a person who comes to, in fact, on Monday through Friday at 2 p.m. Central, I have a credit education webinar. So now a person can come and learn everything that I learned the hard way. But we got to automate it. But see, back then, there was nobody teaching it. I had to go learn it. Now that I've learned it, now I'm teaching it.
I love it.
But Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Central Time. And if a person would like to really get the details and the education about how to repair your credit, all you have to do is call this number, area code 210. Let's see, 210-460-0727. That number, you just tell them that you would like to get access to the credit education webinar and what date and that you would like, and we will get you in there for free. Just tell them that the money doctor sent you.
Okay. So, can you say that number one more time for everybody else, please?
It is 210-460-0727. Again, 210-460-0727.
And they'll just call that number and then say they want access to your webinar.
Right.
Okay.
Now at 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. Central Time is a credit education. So we educate you about how to repair your credit. But now at 10 a.m. and again at 6 p.m., I'm teaching financial solutions, talking strategies now.
Okay. So, so one more question. So, are these webinars free, or I want to make sure I get clear for everybody. Those are interested.
It is FREE, free.
All right. Sounds good to me. You can't beat free opportunities and free education.
And let me say this. What I'm going to do is, if anybody comes and they come on the webinar, they like what they heard, they come as a guest of the Money Doctor. Well, what the Money Doctor will do is get them into the credit repair program for $4.95. That's my blessing. And why am I doing that? Because during this pandemic, people's credit, do you understand that their credit was already less than excellent, but because they're not able to generate money to pay those bills, the credit is getting traumatized. So what I'm doing, I'm going to bless people. For $5, $4.95, I'm going to get you in a credit education, credit repair system. And then you just have to pay it forward. How do you pay it forward to me? Follow the yellow brick road. It'll take you to green, money green. It'll fix your life. That's how you repay me.
Okay. Lotus, you got any questions for him?
Well, the money doc was right on the head with what he said. A lot of people have to focus on getting their credit straight. And as you guys know, I do a thing called Don't Debate, Get Your Credit Straight. And he was right on the head. A lot of these companies are just getting your information and doing the same things that he talked about, the same things that I talk about. But this is the thing that many people don't know. And I don't know if you know this, Kevin, so I'm going to pose this to you. Did you know that there is a law that came out in the state of Georgia that unless you have a person who is, if it's a church or a federal organization, you it's against the law for businesses who worked on getting your credit straight.
Mm-hmm.
They can't do it. They can't do it. It's a law. And if I can get it up tonight, I'll find it and I'll show you what law it is. But it's on the books in Georgia. I found this out over a month ago when I was talking to another wonderful show host, and we were talking about this because she and I worked so well together at bringing out information about how to not debate, but how to get your credit straight. So this is the thing. How in the world are people supposed to come through this pandemic, and then on the other side of it, after they go through, maybe having lost their job, having to go into their savings, having to maybe recreate themselves, how in the world are they going to be expected to come out on the other side and get the things they need if their credit is jacked up?
And the worst part about it is when you look at their credit being all jacked up, understand that a lot of the companies that people work for, those jobs, some of them are not coming back. See, companies right
Exactly.
now during this pandemic, they're forced to learn another way to make money if they're still able to open and be in some business operation. They're forced
Right.
to use some technology and streamline with less people. So some of those
Yes.
people are not coming back. And when the companies do try to come back, there are two things that they have to do in order for them to become profitable again. Number one, they have to cut expenses. And what's the
Yes.
biggest expense of any company?
Mhm.
Same.
Employees, wages,
Yep.
salaries, and benefits. So
Yep.
they're going to have to cut expenses. The second thing they're going to have to do is increase revenue. So how do
Yes.
they increase revenue? They're going to raise the price on consumer goods. Now, what does that mean? Folks, inflation is coming back. Here it comes.
Yep.
So now a lot of people are not going to be able to recover. They're going to have not going to have a job to go back to. But if their credit score is low, a lot of companies, when they're looking at who they're going to hire, one of the discriminators is they look at your credit score.
Yep.
And that is a discriminator. So bad credit costs you money and
Yes.
lost opportunity. Now, great credit make you money and creates opportunity. I just help people to create great credit scores. See, in the credit, understand that you have as much as 500 points that you can bounce back
Mhm.
into your credit report, into your credit score. And all I do is teach you strategically. I've been helping people to raise their credit scores anywhere from 50 points to as much as over 100 points. This is life changing. This is what I do.
All right.
Awesome. Awesome.
It's
So
all about what you know, the education.
right. And it's leveraging that education because a lot of people think that knowledge is power. I typically beg to differ and I use my saying, knowledge is not power unless it's in action.
Right.
You have potential energy, you have kinetic energy. It's the same thing with power. You have potential power and you have kinetic power. So if you don't know how to move into action on your credit and you just have the, how should I say, the program that somebody sold you, right? That's potential. It has the potential to help you, but it can't help you if you don't know how to apply it. So you got to move from potential to kinetic. And that's where the knowledge becomes power, the knowledge in action.
Yeah. And I like to even take that a little further. I say it is the proper application of the proper information. You can have the
Yes.
wrong knowledge and perfect application failure. You can
Yes.
have the right information and improper application failure. But when you got the proper knowledge, properly applied, success.
I concur. That's
I
the
do
truth.
too. So
Yes.
so the money doctor, I have a I want your opinion on something. I said last week, and I'm gonna say it again this week. I just really believe like this whole pandemic is a way for us to do a complete reset on our lives. That's health, the wellness of our health, relationship wellness, with our families, our personal self, our children, um, spiritual wellness, how we believe in the higher self, and our strength and faith, but also financial wellness. I believe that the universe is showing us that we may have lived above our means because we was trying to keep up with the Joneses with people who really don't care who we are in the first place. So now
Right.
that we at this point we are able to reset. So somebody like you, who's the financial guru, but also very spiritually inclined, what's your
Mhm.
thoughts on that?
I totally agree with what you just said. This situation is a awakening because here's what people have been forced to wake up to. Like I say, the world has changed right before our eyes. Now, most people are always used to traditionally to go out and seek wages.
Mm-hmm.
See, wages will make you an income. But what I say you should be doing is seeking profit. See, wages make an income, but profit will make you a fortune. And the way you get profit is a lot of people are going to learn that I need to no longer be dependent upon somebody else feeding me. When
Right.
somebody else controls the purse strings, they control you, they control your family, they control your life and everybody's life connected to you. What do I mean by that? If you are dependent on somebody's income check, they control you. What the
Yep.
rude awakening is people are going to realize in order for me to have any kind of security, especially financial security, I've got to own my own business. That
Yes.
is the golden parachute. Nobody can fire you. Nobody controls your income but you. See, I want to talk about teaching people how to go from seeking income because if you don't go in, it won't come. But see, you'll notice that wealthy people, those that are financially successful, they don't get theirs off of income. They get theirs off of what I call revenue. And see, revenue is getting paid for what you don't do. Revenue allows you to get paid not on linear pay system, but gets you paid on leverage and residual pay. Give you an example of leverage pay. Let's think about Uber, Lyft. They don't own any cars, but they have a system where they get paid to leverage everybody's car who's driving for Uber and Lyft. Now, people say, well, wait a minute, Uber is not driving people around now because of the pandemic. No, but have you heard of Uber Eats? They're driving food.
Mm-hmm.
And another one is Amazon and eBay. What do they manufacture? Absolutely nothing. But they sell and distribute everything. That is a system. They're leveraging. And then you got to understand residual. Now, we all participate in residual pay system. We're just on the wrong side of it. You see, you got a smartphone, cell phone, somebody turn the service on one time and they get a check every month from you. Your
Mhm.
internet, they turn it on one time, they get a check every month. Not to mention your light bill, gas bill, water bill, and cable. Now, what if you can get on the receiving side of residual pay system? That's what I teach. How to get on the revenue system and not the income system. Because if you don't go in, it won't come. But see, when you got the revenue going on, you're getting paid for what you do. But I studied a guy named John J. Paul Getty back
Mhm.
in the turn of when America became an industrialized nation. And this guy was the wealthiest man in America during that time. He owned Getty Oil. But J. Paul Getty said that he'd rather make 1% on the efforts of him, I mean, 1% on the efforts of himself
Mhm.
versus getting paid 100% on himself. Now, I thought that was crazy. But here's what it was taught to me by a millionaire. He said, if you get paid 1% on the efforts of 100 people and versus 100% on yourself, if you don't work, but 100 people did work, and you got 1% on each of them, how much did you make? I don't do mathematics, but I can do basic arithmetic, and 100 times 1 is still 100. So you don't do no work, but you still make 100%. That's just like the person who owns the job that you work for. You are creating their wealth. You're creating
Okay.
wealth, but you don't own it. Someone else does. It's about now time to learn wealth transference. And through my income shifting membership program, they also get a home based business. They have the option to work it, but right now, since you're going to have to shelter at home, why not make some money while at home? And then
Yep.
when it's all over, you have entrepreneurship. And that's one of the things that comes with the membership. I have created a program called Vision Builders University. The Bible says, where there is no vision, the people perish. It also
Yes.
says that write the vision and make it plain on
Plain.
tablets. Well, in Vision Builders University, it has money school, educating you about money, and it has business school, educating you about business, so you become a successful entrepreneur. So if they do start letting jobs come back, you don't have to worry about if they let me come back. You have something that you have what's called a fallback plan. You own it. And by the way, take this $4.95 gift and you can turn it into a 5 million or more blessing to you and your family.
Mhm.
Wow. Um, that was a lot right there. I do have a question for you though. So, what would you do for the people who are being used to seeking income? Now we gotta create a mind shift from them being an employee to wanting to be a business owner.
Right?
How you help create that mind shift?
And that comes from training, train, educate, educate, educate. And now is the time because right now
Yes.
they don't have no work. They can't go in. It gives me an opportunity to have something that is very simplified that they can do. But I spend time working with them. Now I don't have to go violate social distancing. I do everything through Zoom just like we're doing now. And by doing so, I have an audience all over the country that is getting educated. And what I'm doing is spending time working on that paradigm shift. I
Mhm.
help them to get a reality check. And with the hardships that they're dealing with now, and I build that relationship with them, and I tell my story. And there are others that have a testimony that share their story. That helps them to see, hey, the same God that delivered them, He's not respected person. I think I have an opportunity that I can grow and change my life. Now, I can't help everybody. I can only help those who want to be helped. In other words, if a person decides that they just want to still maintain the slave mentality, I can't break that.
Right.
I can help them, and I have a passion of my heart. I have empathy. I want to help them. I can help them. But even Harriet Tubman, she couldn't free everybody. But those who wanted to be free, they went and they got free.
Okay.
So, Lotus, let me ask you then a question too.
Yes.
How would you say can we unlock the change on the mindset of the people so they'd be more willing to um, be less fearful to step out on their own and create their own business so they can have their own instead of relying on someone else? What's your thoughts?
Um, One of the things that's good for them is I like to take people who perhaps already still have a job
Uh huh.
and I help them start become an entrepreneur part time.
Mm-hmm.
See, because what is a fear factor that's got them holding on to that job? They used to having the security blanket of a steady check.
Right.
So
Yes.
still have that check coming in, but while you have a check coming in, I say go from 9 to 5, make a living, but from 5 to 9, build a life.
Okay.
And it's an incremental process. And a mind is the slowest thing to change. And I realized that I was there too. Understanding that, I take the time and I have a training program that systematically help a person step by step, bit by bit. And when they start seeing progress, They start seeing some personal success, even if it's just a matter of some income increase from their paycheck, even if it's about seeing their credit score go up about 10, 15, 20 to 50 points. That's progress. That's encouragement. And I have a system that they can track their progress. All they have to do, I ask a person to do two things. Number one, be coachable. Number two, don't quit.
Right.
That's all I
Because
ask them to
quitters never
do.
win and winners never quit.
Come on with it.
And what to answer your question, Kevin, this right here, this show right here is one of the ways that I help people change the way they think about their situation. I've been coaching people and inviting people to read this book by Brian Tracy called The Psychology of Selling. And the reason being is because in that particular book, Brian Tracy talks to us about how to make the shift. He also talks to us about how to change the mindset. Now, this is the primary key that a lot of people have to understand. In order for a person to change their mindset, they have to be led by mindset leaders, by mindset changers, by mindset strategists. Okay. And that's why you see me on Facebook Live, on different podcasts and things like that, because I am doing my part as this spiritual being that I am, having this human experience on the earth plane to help enlighten people. But it also goes back to what the money doctor said. Some people are not going to come, not because they don't want to come, but because of the false evidence appearing real in their lives that's keeping them from stepping into, I'm doing it, and coming out of, I'm trying. So that's the primary thing that I do to help people. I help them change the narrative. And like I said before, we have this record, and you hear me say this all the time. We have this record that's playing in our mind. And so I'm the person, I take the needle off the record. And the way I take the needle off the record, and when I lift that needle, sometimes you'll hear, because people hold so tightly to what they've been taught about money, to what they've been taught about the impressions that they've been given about themselves. But I utilize different training strategies and techniques to help them overcome that mental madness. That's what I call it, mental madness. And this is one way that I help people. I help people with my shows. This is one way, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second way I help people is I get them to start reading information that's fun to mental. You get it?
Mm-hmm.
Fun to mental. Because when you start discovering the things that you really can do about your finances, that you really can do about your life, that you really can do about your health, it becomes fun to mental. And when it becomes fun to mental, then you enjoy doing it. Like making money, like the money doctor said, if you don't go in, you get no income. So when you start learning processes of how to earn money and it's fun, because it's fun to mental, you're going to do more of it. So that's what I teach people, how to embrace the fact that they are designed to be wealthy, how to embrace the fact that they are designed for abundance and not lack. So those are some of the ways that I help people. Now, of course, with many of you, I have strategies, I have tips, I have programs, because I'm a coach just like Kevin, just like the money doctor. So I use my coaching strategies to do that. But most importantly, folks, we use this platform right here. Because Kevin, how many people have we had come on to talk about money? How many people have we had to talk about health and wellness and spiritual wellness? Can you count them on one hand?
I cannot. I cannot.
And that's why this program is so powerful. We reach, everybody. When I go on my Facebook Live, and when I even come on this platform that we have here, I always say we're bringing inspiration to every nation, Because guess what? Every nation has been hit by this COVID, and every nation has to come out of this money crunch, of this emotional crunch, of this spiritual crunch, of this physical crunch where we're not able to meet one with another in public arenas. But this is one way we start, by sharing information, by making it possible, and by coaching. And I challenge each and every one of you out there, get a mentor, get a mentor, get a coach that knows how to do it, that's doing it, not just know how, but that's doing it and that has done it before, because they can duplicate the process. And if you can duplicate it once, you can duplicate it over and over and over and over again. Look at the multi-million dollar millionaires and billionaires in the world. Guess what? Many of them were not born a millionaire or a billionaire, but when they learn the process and they learn the systems, because that's what it takes, systems and procedures. When you learn the systems, when you learn the procedures, and you do it successfully the first time, you'll do it over and over and over and over and over again, and meet that level of success that you need to meet. But it starts right here with sharing information.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. So, do we have any questions for the money doctor, Lois?
See, give me one quick second. I'm gonna look. Oh,
Uh-oh.
thank you. Okay, thank you. So we have so many people on tonight, and if I don't call your name, just bear with me. Take it for love. I want to say, hey, we have Dr. Cheryl Lynn Ivaniski. She's on with us. Good to see you. Thank you for listening in. Angela Elton out of Washington, D.C. Cheryl Lynn, she's out of Canada, actually, and Angie's out of Washington. Dr. Sandra Brooks is out of South Carolina. Larry Page from Live with Larry, good to see you. He's out of North Carolina. Phyllis Weaver, wonderful speaker. She's out of North Carolina. And I see so many plethoras of folks. So I have one comment. Hey there, Sheandra Hardy out of Douglasville. One question or a saying, learning about finances is a challenge for many. Why are people afraid of fixing their finances, Doc?
Mm. I will start out by saying there was a book by Carter G. Woodson,
Mm-hmm.
The Miseducation of the American Negro.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it's not about just the miseducation of the Negro when it comes to finances, because that is by race, it goes across any race. And what I see is that people have been taught a wrong strategy for so long that when they are being introduced to the right way, they've been doing it the wrong way so long that right seems wrong and wrong seems right. And
Mm-hmm.
what do I mean? Traditionally, people have been through generations taught that the key to financial success is what I call the 440 plan. Now that means go to school for 4 years and get a degree and get out there and get you a good job with benefits and good money, and you work 40 hours plus a year for your life and do that for 40 years plus of your life. You hit the glass ceiling a long time ago, but one day down the road, you're going to retire and life is good. But I got this question I would say, down what road and what day? Well, people have been misinformed for so long, the mind is now preconditioned. So that is the part that we got to work on. So why is it so hard to get people to want to work on their own finances? They've been used to trusting somebody else. They've been used to trusting the bank. Lord, I teach a thing called the banker's secret. Boy, when I teach that class, you don't see the bank the same way no more. And you notice that when you go to the bank, up there on the countertop, when you go to the teller, they got this big jar. And what's in that jar? Suckers.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of sucker is it? Dum dums. When I teach the banker's secret, you're not going to see the bank no more the same way. Because let me show you what the bank is doing. They give you less than 1% on your money. And they'll take your money and go out here and make 12 to 21%. But you say, money doctor, how they get that much percent off of my money? They get it off of you. You got a loan? You got a credit card? Then they take your money to the stock market. See, your money is working Wall Street before you leave the bank that before the bank closes that day. I believe that you should learn that if you're going to live in America, you should own a piece of America. In other words, I educate about investments. See, it's easy to get somebody to begin to believe when they are taught, properly taught.
Mm-hmm.
Now we teach you how to bring Wall Street to Y'all Street. That's where the beginning starts. That is the beginning of the beginning, and then they grow, taking baby steps. But as all babies, we had to learn how to crawl before we can walk. We had to learn how to walk before we could run. But even Wilma Rudolph, my girl Flojo, they had to go through that same process before they became gold medal Olympic sprinters.
So
So it's a
I
process.
want.
It's a learning and developmental process. And we have to overcome fear. And like you said, the false evidence appearing real.
Yes.
So I do have a
So,
quick
Doc, I
question.
want to say this.
You
I'm
go
sorry.
ahead. You go first.
So, Doc, I want to say this. You're getting a lot of thumbs up and hearts and everything like that. Daisy, hey, Daisy out of South Carolina. Hey, thanks for joining us here. We appreciate you. And, Doc, you're getting a lot of thumbs up and hearts and all that. And um, I want to say you have hit the nail right on top of the head. And someone put in the feed the Money Doctor's free money webinar, and she put your number. So thank you, Angie, for putting that in there. And Phyllis Weaver, she said much needed information. And Larry Pace from Live with Larry says very good advice for everyone. Thank you so much for this great information. And so we're learning that people are really afraid oftentimes to tackle their their credit. Can you plug that back up? Um, to tackle their credit. Hey there, Freddie, I see you. They're afraid to tackle their credit. It's just like when people come home and they have a stack of mail and they don't open that mail. They don't open that mail because there's bills in that mail. So if you look at any of the great books that talk about money, that talk about how to overcome, one of the first things they talk about is having a strategy. One of the strategies is meeting things head on. When you have bills, open them up. Don't let them linger, look at them. I do a training that helps people deal with bills and how to create more money when the bills come instead of sending out the negative energy that causes more bills and more lack to come in. So I encourage you and invite you to step out of fear. So, Doc, I like that you brought the fear factor up. I also like, Doctor, that you brought up the matter of trust. If you look on your money, it says in who? In
And
who we
God.
trust? In God we trust. So, Doc, why do so many people put their trust in the bankers? After
Because
we've seen year after year after year, so many banks fall away, or there's all these type of Ponzi schemes from corporations, and you sending your money. Why are people still trusting in that?
because it's the bright, shiny object. The bank is looking like that's where the success is at. And this is what people have been, again, traditionally pre programmed from childhood. When we
Right,
were children, what would we do? If you were able to have some money, you go and open up what? A little passbook savings account at the bank. That's the first thing. Okay. What I will do with my grandchildren, no, you're not going to go put the money in the bank. You're going to go invest. I'm going to educate them about having ownership in the marketplace.
right.
That's where the bank is going to go. So teach your children how to go where the bank go with your money. Now, why are people then so used to the bank? Is because that's what they have been pre-programmed for years and generations. That's
Yes.
where you're supposed to go. But they say, well, my money is safe at the bank. They say, well, it's got the FDIC. Some people don't even know what FDIC stands for, but let me tell you, Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation, your money is safe up to a certain amount.
Right.
Most people don't have that certain amount to get to, so your money gonna be safe anyway. But your money is not as safe as you think. Your money is safe for the bank. That's bank security. That's how they make money. See, the wealthy make money off of ignorance of the non-wealthy. It's easy to rob you when you don't know you're being robbed.
So, Doc, can you please repeat what you just said? Just please repeat that.
Which part?
The wealthy.
Oh, the wealthy make their money off of the ignorance of the non-wealthy. Ignorance just means that I didn't know. Nobody taught me.
Right. Yeah.
And that's
And
why my
mhm.
passion is about financial education. And see, one of the things is in the income shifting membership that I'm practically giving away is you get a financial roadmap. It's called a cash flow strategist. Now, it's kind of like having a personal financial GPS. Now, you know, a GPS, there's a satellite in the sky that'll pinpoint where you are on planet Earth. And you tell it where you want to go, and it will give you guidance and instructions how to get to where you're going. Well, what if you had a financial GPS that would help you to see exactly where you are in your personal finances? And then you tell it where you want to go. I help you to establish your, I call that your retirement freedom date and your retirement freedom number. The retirement freedom date is what year at the latest do you want to retire? I ain't saying retry. That's what people do. They retire from a job and go retry something else. That ain't retirement. So your retirement freedom date is when you want to retire. And the retirement freedom number is what is the minimum monthly amount of income that you want to have in cash flow that you want to have to live off of. What is the minimum? This system helps you to establish your personal financial game plan. I call it the financial GPS. And it comes with the program.
So,
But but I always ask two things. Well, let me add a third one. Number one, be coachable. The money doctor can teach you. Because see, I've been there, I've done that. I know what it's like. And I guess that's why I've been through my valley. I did not know that one day God's gonna make me a financial educator. But I've been there. I can relate to people who's going through struggles. But I can show you how to get out of it. But also I ask you to never quit and give me 90 days of working with me. I don't have a get rich. I don't have a magic wand. This ain't no get rich quick. This ain't no pyramid scheme. This ain't no Ponzi scheme. This is about education and business. It's about your life, and your money governs your life.
One thing that I wanted to say too, Doc, is because I, li- I like I like that you were able to take what we talked about ignorance and see people a lot of times they feel bad because they don't know. So we want to share with folks out there that it's okay not to know. But when you know that you don't know, it's not okay to stay in the don't know. You have to graduate to the know because it's the knowing that's going to change your paradigm. And so I invite you to come into the know. And if you want to know more about your finances, if you want to know how to build your credit, if you want to know how to upshore your business, a lot of people out there that don't have business credit and are trying to find out how to build business credit as well. And some people, a lot of people out there, you've had doctors bill issues, you've had life has happened to you, and things has caused your credit to take a dive. Just like in this pandemic, things have taken a dive for many, not all, but for many. So I invite you, don't sit where you are and stay where you are, because you don't have to. That's why we do these shows like this, so you don't have to stay where you are, you can rise above it. And if you look at my logo is the lotus flower coming up out of the ground, because the deeper in the mud and the dirt that the lotus flower is, the more majestic it rises. So I'm asking each and every one of you, are you in the mud? Are you in the dirt? If so, put a 3 in the comment below. And right after that 3, type rising, because you should be rising with all of the shows that's coming out. You should be rising. You don't have to stay stuck, but it's a matter of choice.
Right.
So what are you choosing?
So, Doc, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
With the pandemic, we know this the stock market has taken a huge hit, which
Yeah.
means it's a great time for those looking to revamp their financial portfolio. It's a great time for them to buy stocks. But that fear might come in because they've never done it before, or they don't have the knowledge of it. What would you say is the best steps to take during this time to look into investing into stocks?
Well, the first thing is get educated, get informed. See, don't just jump out there and say, "Oh, gimme, gimme, gimme." Now, there is a fire sale on the stock market, but you want to be careful. Let me tell you why. If you remember during 9/11, and the airline industry took a massive hit. I understand that Delta Airlines, their stock plummeted, and people were buying, buying, buying and dirt like dirt cheap. But what was the trick that Delta did when they filed bankruptcy? Okay,
Yeah,
when they filed bankruptcy, all those shares that people bought at dirt cheap were priceless. It wasn't worth nothing. And then Delta reemerged under a different stock symbol at a different stock price. So we want you to get educated so you become an informed, educated investor. Now, with the income shifting membership, we have over 3 hours of investment education training by millionaires and billionaires that are educating you about what are the different kinds of investments. How do they work? What are the hidden underlying fees? How do you know what they're investing in? How do you know about the management of the company, the history of the investment? Okay, these are things that you need to understand, like Warren Buffett. When he goes out and invests, and he invests mega millions, well, he does his homework and research on the stock before he jump out there and buy it. Well,
right.
you can't do homework and research until you are educated on what to look for and how to understand what you're looking at. Well, that's what the income shifting financial education on investments does. It helps you become an informed, educated, a wise investor, but simultaneously creating some money to invest with. So yes, this is the time. Yes, indeed, I am investing, and I am also investing for my two granddaughters. One of them is 2 years old. The other one is almost 1 year old. But guess what? These two little next generation of Sadlers, they will be millionaires before they finish high school. But they won't know it. They got to finish college first. Then granddaddy tell you what I did. See, that's called generational wealth. That's legacy building. But that's something that we ought to talk about one day, legacy building. Because the legacy that a lot of our people are leaving is a legacy of broke, a legacy of starting from the bottom and work your way not to the top, work your way to as far as they let you get. If you got a job, how you gonna get to the top? The top is the CEO. The top is the owner of the company. You think they're gonna let you take their place? I don't think so. I'm just keeping it real.
All right, I love it.
And if I can, I'd like to take about 3 minutes because that banker's secret is burning inside of me. I want to.
We got the.
Can I teach that real quick?
You sure can.
Oh, when I see the banker's secret is about understanding the rule of 72. Now, the rule of 72, we call it the banker's secret, but it's the magic of compound interest. So you take the number 72 and you divide it by whatever percent of interest that you're getting on a loan or an investment, and it tells you how long you're either paying back double what you borrowed or that you double the return on the investment. Now, let's take I'm not going to use a bank y'all know of because they don't pay you nothing but less than 1%. But let's call it Good National Bank. And why? Because they give me 4%, even during the pandemic. Now, Good National Bank says, look here, you start out at age 29. I'm going to create this. You're 29 years of age, and from wherever you got it from, you got $10,000. And you go to Good National Bank with your 10,000, they give you 4%. And you think that you are doing good. Well, if you look at 72 divided by 4 is 18. So in 18 years, that means you're now 47, and your money will have doubled from 10,000 to 20,000. 18 years later, you're now 65, the so-called retirement age. I say so-called retirement age because I was retired before I was 60, financially free. I went from the bottom to the top. I teach people how to do it. But now at age 65, your 10,000 doubles to 40,000. Now you say, I'm going to retire. For how long can you retire on 40,000? Maybe you can make it last you 1 year, 2 years, but now you're broke. Now what? That means you got to start over. Where? At age 65, 66, 67. Now, let's say you went from Good National Bank, but because of some friend told you about a better bank, so we're going to call it Better Bank. Better Bank gives you a better return, 6%. Okay, so you take your 10,000 there instead. Now, 72 divided by 6 is 12. So at age 29, you take your 10,000 to Better Bank. And at now 12 years, you are now 41. Your 10 doubles to 20. And then 12 years later, you're 53. Your 20 becomes 40. In 12 more years, you're 65. Your 40 becomes 80. Now you got 80,000. You think you can live a little better? Maybe about an extra year, maybe two. I said maybe. Because inflation is also using the rule of 72. See, compound interest. Inflation doubling 3 to 5% per year, and your money is not. Now let's go to the bank, not Good Bank, not Better Bank. Let's go to the bank. You know, the big building with the chandeliers when you walk in, marble floors, granite countertop. They got the pretty people in place. They got security. They got vault. Man, they got everything but what? They got everything but some money. So where they gonna get the money from? Well, back when I was a kid, they give you a free toaster oven, and then they give you a microwave. Today, they say if you open up a direct deposit account with us, we'll give you the first $200 in your account for free. Oh, that's the hook. See, because now you go jump over there, take your 10,000, and they give you 200. That's the hook. Now, what does the bank do? The bank would take your money and make 12 and better percent return. Now, 72 divided by 12 is what? 6. So every 6 years, your money gonna double for who? The bank. Now watch this. Your 10,000 at the bank. In 6 years, you were 29, so now you're 35. The bank made 20,000. And then from 35 to 41, it becomes what? 40,000. 41 to 47, 80. 47 to 53, 160,000. But from 53 to 59, 320,000. But from 59 to 65 is $640,000. But the bank gives you 4%. The bank gives you 4%. So that means they're gonna give you 40,000 and they made 600,000 off of your money. And that's why I tell you, look in the jar when you go to the counter. And now you understand why they smile at you. Because in that jar, they got candy. What kind? Suckers. What kind of sucker? Dum-dums. And when you begin to understand what just happened to you, you realize, Dad, I'm a sucker. I'm a dum-dum. Let's get educated about your money. Look here. It's easy to rob you when you don't know you're being robbed. Let's get educated. And in the college education system, they are not teaching 1 iota education about money. People don't even get educated how to balance a checkbook. And if you look at a bank's income statement, they make mega millions of dollars on non-sufficient fund checks and telemachines. Mm. I'm just keeping it real. I'm telling the truth.
That you are. Lotus, you got anything for us today, right now?
You know, I always tell people, a lot of us have graduated with all these business degrees and all this stuff. But I know me personally, Kevin, and I want to know from you if you learned this because you've got degrees as well. When I was getting my master's degree in business, the school that I graduated from, they talked about how to understand what the mean and median was and how to understand those type of things when it comes to finance, but they didn't teach us about how to leverage credit. They didn't teach us that credit was a true numbers game and how we needed to understand it and how it was essential. And you know what? Come to think of it too, Kevin, I've always thought about this. We have so many teachers that teach finance, but they are oftentimes just above broke because they don't know how to invest themselves. And if they did, would they really be teaching on a university level anyway?
Hmm. And can I give you my quotable quote about credit?
You sure can.
They say that cash is king. Yeah, but credit rules the kingdom. You got to get your credit scores up, ladies and gentlemen. You cannot go around. See, people are controlled by credit. You got to learn how to control credit. Don't let your money tell you what to do. You need to learn how to tell your money what to do. Now, how does your money tell you what to do? Well, based upon what kind of money you got, it tell you where you can live. It tell you what you can drive. It tell you where you can go. It tell you what you can eat or what kind of clothes you can wear or where your kids go to school. Your money talking. You need to talk to your money. But see, that comes from the empowerment of financial education. When you understand money and how money works, you should make your money work for you instead of you always working for your money. Because if you don't learn how to make money work for you,
Mhm.
what you're gonna do when you can no longer work for money, like right going on right now.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, he on told us, Lotus.
Yeah,
He on told
I
us. I don't learned a
yeah.
lot, as I
Mhm.
don't know about everybody else, but I have learned a lot. I do have a question for you because I know if people are like me, they have learned a lot from you today. How can if they want to join your program? Is there a fee for the program? And if so, how much? And how do they reach you about joining that program, that membership
Great
program?
question. The fee normally is $99.95. But what did I say I was going to do? For those who are on your program, and if they contact me, they contact me at 210-460-0727. What we first of all done is because of the pandemic, we realized that man, they have a need for a some kind of cash flow right now. So we cut that cost 70%, and I'm going to cut it an additional 25. In other words, what we made the program instead of 99.95, 29.95 for those that are on your program and they contact me and I give them access to one. I'm doing this Monday through Friday. I do financial solutions training at 10 and 6, 10 a.m., 6 p.m. Central Time. I do credit education at 2 p.m. Central Time. And I will give you the discount $4.95. And I got witnesses
Wow.
right here that says the money doctor said if you and by the way, make sure you inform them that you were invited by the money doctor because that's how you're going to get the 495 special. Don't pay the 99.95. I say you should do it for the 495 and get everything. Only thing I ask you to do to repay me, be coachable, give me a 90-day commitment, and don't quit. See, fear is a devil. That's the devil's tool. Discouragement is the devil's tool. See, I heard this story by a pastor. He said the devil was having a going out of business sale when Jesus got crucified, but when he raised from the grave and he resurrected, the devil realized, uh-oh, game over, but I better hurry up and do something. So he had a going out of business sale, and he had all of this greatest things that he used to destroy lives. He had lies, he had deceit, he had murder, he had adultery. But the biggest one he had set up on a big pedestal. It was all beat up, battered, worn out, like it's been in 11 wars. And somebody asked him, well, devil, now you got that one right there. It's the worst looking of all, and you got it priced higher than everything. Why is it so valuable to you? He said, well, this tool here, I have been able to penetrate the mind and the lives of millions. And I have made them give up. Some even just gave up on life and committed suicide. He said, well, what do you call that tool? What's the name of it? It's called discouragement. When people get discouraged, that's when they give up, even give up on life. I want to be an encourager. And when you start seeing life getting better, you get encouraged. But there's going to be somebody that's going to be sent by, I say sent by the enemy to try to discourage you in your moment of encouragement. Stay positive. Get around positive people. See, get in them, read positive books. Listen to positive things. Motivate. Listen to these shows. See, it's like this here. You're in your circumstances. If your circumstances is not what you like, circumstance is a derivative of two words: circle and stance. And if you don't like your circumstance, change the circle you're standing in. In other words, if you can't change the people you're around, change the people you're around before they change you.
Wow.
And we have one comment that I wanted to bring up, and I want to say hi to Diana Williams. Thank you for being here. She said, we need to stop giving our money away and learn how to invest our own money, which is so true. And she also shared with us that she said, my mother used to say that your purse is your boss. So definitely, that's definitely true. And that's what the doctor is saying as well. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So, do we have any questions for the good doctor?
So I've got so many comments here. So if you do have a question, feel free to give us a call at 470-251-4647 if you
Four
have a question.
470. Oh,
Okay,
you got it right.
470-251-4647. You can give us a call if I can't catch up to it in the feed, because we're getting a lot of hearts, a lot of thumbs, a lot of um, comments. Now, out of DC, we have financial education and awareness should start from very early. So that's something that the doctor touched on when he talked about his grandchildren. He's already starting a process for them because, of course, we have to bring our children up and train them in the right way. That's why there's so much illiteracy when it comes to finance. And I think, Doc, you hit it right on the head. And a lot of folks are giving you thumbs up and chiming in. And Phyllis Weaver out of North Carolina said financial classes need to start in high school. And I would challenge you, I would even say even before that, like Doc said, as early as they can understand finances and how money works. I think that's where we need to start bringing them up. Now, I'm going to ask a question. Kevin, you said last week on last week's show, you asked folks, why is it that when shows like this come on, you don't have a lot of people on the show? Mm-hmm. And today I have the same question, and I'd like Doc to give the answer.
Okay.
Why is it that when people know they have problems in their finances, they would much rather go and watch a reality show than a financial show, which can change their whole reality? Why does that happen?
Well, I would say on the first part, perhaps they don't know about shows like this. See, Lotus, had it not been for you, I would not know about this show. But
Right.
because of you, I notified almost 300 people about this show today.
Right.
See, so hopefully that will cause those that did come and say, wait a minute, the money doctor is going live and he said this where he's going to be. That's going to cause somebody to get introduced to this
Yes.
program, Kevin. And I hope that there will be a continuum of being on there and checking your program, Lotus. That's
Yes.
the first part of why they don't listen to programs like this.
Mhm.
Another thing is that perhaps people just are gotten complacent.
Mhm.
They gotten comfortable
Yeah.
in a low comfort zone. See, and change for them won't take effect until they begin to get uncomfortable in their
Yes.
comfort. See, like the eagle does on the baby eagles, they start taking the comfort out of the nest, and those little thorns start sticking in their little hind part, and they
Yeah.
have to they kick them out the nest and make them learn how to fly.
Mhm.
See, and this is something. This pandemic, I wrote a note down here about this pandemic that came to me. This pandemic is creating a transformative change
Mhm.
in our economy and the global economy that's
Mhm.
going to be have a long lasting effect on personal and household economics. It's going to have a long lasting effect. See, if you think about businesses recovering and giving jobs back into the job, wait a minute, how long do you think that a household is going to take for them to recover?
Mm-hmm.
And guess what, folks?
Mhm.
It's a game. I'm going to say
Yes.
it straight up. It's called the money game.
Yep.
See, the money game is also known as capitalism. And if you don't learn how to transform your thinking and begin to think like and become a capitalist, you will just be capitalized upon by capitalists. And what I like to do is transform that mind and get you to become a capitalist. See, if you look at the taxes, they are designed for wealthy people, by
Mhm.
wealthy people. Now, what's the evidence? Well, let me just use a couple that you can relate to in the recent years. When President Trump first got into office, well, he was the first thing he did, other than taking away everything that President Obama did that was good, he went and changed. He didn't do no tax reform. He just changed the tax cuts for the wealthy. The wealthy are business owners, not employees. Okay, let's look at the current stimulus package. 2 trillion, and they're getting ready to do two or three, four more of them. But on this first one, they take 2 trillion. They're going to give each person 1,200 if you make less than 75,000, and
Right.
then they're going to give you 500 for each child that's eligible. But then that's going to be some mega millions of dollars given to middle class. Where is the bulk of the money going? I'm talking about the mega billions. It's going to businesses. And for them, it's going to be a tax write-off. So what must you learn to do? I encourage you, ladies and gentlemen, if you want to be able to weather a storm, storms come and storms go. This is the one we're in, but it's not the last one we're going to see unless the rapture comes somewhere between. But folks, you got to start thinking about in order for me to be my own, in order for me to really have security, I need to have ownership. Because if you
Right.
don't get ownership, you just own the ship. And when you just own the ship, you go wherever the owner of the ship take you. And you get kicked off the ship whenever they get tired of you. I'm just keeping it real.
Hmm.
That's true. That's true. So we've got a couple of quick questions for you, Doc.
Mm-hmm.
One question out of North Carolina. Do you have any thoughts about the app Robinhood Snacks for investing?
Yes, I'm familiar with the Robin Hood. The Robin Hood is a new way that you can be able to invest and get pieces of shares of companies. It used to be back when I was first selling mutual funds, I was security licensed. You had to buy investments in what's called a round lot, which is 100 shares of whatever company you want to buy shares of. So if the stock of the price of the share was, let's say, $20.
Hmm.
Well, let me use let's say $10, and you had to get a round lot of 100. So that means you had to spend $1,000 just to make one investment.
Hmm.
Well, with the Robinhood and a couple of other ones out there, and I won't even give at commercials for these other ones that they already have their own commercials on TV. But Robinhood is one that you can go into and you can buy pieces of shares. You don't have to invest hundreds of dollars. You can invest little bits. But that allows you to start getting some pieces of America. And
Right.
with over time, those pieces become a big pie.
Right.
So I don't knock it. If that's the way you got to start, it's better than a zero.
Okay.
Exactly. And the next question we have is, how can we train or introduce financial education to our children?
Number one, the parent has to be educated. You can't teach what you never learned. That's why I cannot get mad at my mother and father about what they never taught me because they didn't know. I am accountable for well, my children are grown, but I'm teaching my son and daughter. But I'm most accountable to what I teach my grandchildren. So, how do we get this education to our children? Parents, get educated. Now you can become a teacher. Don't let somebody else be the only one teaching your child. In the school system, they teach your child academics. But when it comes to money and finance, that's got to come from you. Because in the school system, it does not exist. We live in the wealthiest country in the world. Now, how do you know this is the wealthiest country in the world? Well, most countries, if it says write a check for $2 trillion and the check don't balance and the country is not bankrupt, that tells you about the strength of American economics. But now, what about in your household? See, we got to learn how to make money transfer to you. The only way you're going to do that, you got to learn the money game, how money works. That's what I do. So for the parents, let's get together. Get in the income shifting membership. Get in Vision Builders University. There you have money school and business school. We teach you to become successful on both ends. Now watch this. The more you know, the more you can teach. But all of a sudden, your whole household becomes transformed.
Right.
Love it.
And conscious of money. And Kevin, we have one more question if we have time for it.
Go for it.
Okay.
This be the last
How
one.
do we motivate them? Oh, and you got a comment out of California with Lynn Herod Diverges. She said that she said, I love this guy, the money doctor. He's real and he does know his stuff. He's explaining everything very well, right on the point. As our people grow their income with MPUSA, I will make sure they see him to make the money they are making grow. I always taught my kids since they were babies to make sure their money made money for them. Awesome. And she has some other comments that she made, and I didn't see it because we have so many flooding. But thank you, Lynn Harris Diverges. She's watching you out of California. And Lynn Harris Diverges has a financial background. She's worked for some of the biggest corporations and banks in the world. So thank you
I
so
would,
much.
like to, I would love to have a conversation with her. So, ma'am, if you please give me a call, 210-460-0727. With your background, I'd like to talk to you about being a part of our training corps.
Fantastic. And so, wow, you have given us such great value. Those of you that are that we know you guys got value. You got value. Put in the comment below value. Please put in the comment below value. And thank you for doing so. We
So,
appreciate it. And
so
continue to send your thumbs up and your hearts. And we just love having you here. So, Cav, what are your thoughts?
he was amazing. Our producer was enjoying him at the same time, so he really did a great job. We truly appreciate you. Um, Can you tell everybody how they can find you? I know you gave the number, but how can they follow you on social media? Social media, if they want to stay in touch with you and join your programs.
Excellent. Well, you can reach me on Facebook. I do a weekly financial education, The Money Doctor, the money moments from the Money Doctor. And my Facebook is Dexter Sadler. Sadler. Now you'll see two or three Dexter Sadlers in there, but you'll only find one looking like this: lab coat, stethoscope, the money doctor. That's me. Friend request me. But also, one of the quick ways you can reach me is off of my website or my email. My website is Live Your Dreams myecon, myecon, myecon.net. And that also is my email address. Live your dreams at myecon, myecon.net. And the reason that is called myecon, because that's what we're going to talk about. It's not about the economy. It's not about the American economy. It's about my economy, my econ. So I'm going to educate you about your economy.
Thank you.
So, Doc, we put it down in the comments below, and I hope it's all spelled right. And if you guys missed it, hit the replay, and don't forget to like and share and start a watch party.
Thank you so much, Doc. We really appreciate you. Lois, you got any parting words for us?
We thank you and we love you for joining us each week. Also, reach me right here at the Wellness Architect Show every Monday from 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Also, reach me on Facebook Live with Lotus Ignite, where I help to ignite and bring information to every nation every week on Tuesday and Wednesday. Join me there on Facebook Live and check me out on my news you can use every Friday at 5 p.m., which is about to take off this week.
Thank you, ma'am. And for me, I just want to thank everybody again for supporting the book Twin View for Men. Those who still want to can reach me on Facebook, and I'll give you the information on how you can purchase the book from me. Once again, thank you for tuning into the show. We truly appreciate you. Till next time, be great, be authentic, and be your best, please.
Enjoy.